morning and welcome again to Eye on the Tigers News. I'm Justice Dan, and we're really appreciative you decided to join us today for the news we've been following for you. Donald Trump and Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont harnessed working-class fury on Tuesday to surge the commanding victories in New Hampshire, a primary that drew a huge turnout across the state. Sanders nearly doubled the votes Hillary Clinton received. The success by two outsider candidates dealt a remarkable rebuke to the political establishment and all but guaranteed protracted, bruising races for each party's presidential nomination. Trump, the wealthy businessman whose blunt language and outsider image have electrified many Republicans and horrified others, benefited from an unusually large field of candidates that split the vote among the traditional politicians like Governor John Kasich of Ohio and finished second. And after winning in Iowa, Ted Cruz was third. Former Governor Jeb Bush of Florida was fourth, and Marco Rubio was disappointing fifth. And news that broke before we went on, the Associated Press was reporting that New Jersey Governor Chris Christie announced he will suspend his campaign after disappointing outcome last night. The campaigns now go south for South Carolina primary next week. The administration of President Barack Obama is vowing to press ahead with efforts to curtail greenhouse gas emissions after a divided Supreme Court put his signature plan to address climate change on hold after legal challenges were resolved. Tuesday's surprising move by the court is a blow to Obama in the victory of the coalition of 27 mostly Republican-led states and in industry opponents who call the regulations an unprecedented power grab. By issuing the temporary freeze, a 5-4 majority of the justices signaled that the opponents made strong arguments against the rules. The High Court's 4 liberal justices said they would have denied the request for delay. The administration's plan aimed to strive off the worst predicted impacts of climate change by reducing carbon dioxide emissions after exiting power plants by about 1/3 by 2030. Flint's water crisis, after a switch in source allowed dangerous levels of lead and potentially caused deadly cases of Legionnaire's disease, could result in criminal charges as serious and involuntary manslaughter, a top investigator said Tuesday. The emergency will prompt Governor Rick Snyder to propose another $195 million in aid in his annual budget proposal on Wednesday, including a $25 million to potentially replace old lead and copper pipes. Snyder also plans to call for $165 million in funding for infrastructure needs across Michigan in the 2016-17 budget. If approved by lawmakers, state spending on the Flint water disaster will top $232 million over this fiscal year and next. Kentucky clerk Kim Davis has obeyed orders to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples in the months since she spent 5 nights in jail for refusing to do so, a federal judge ruled Tuesday. United States District Judge David Bunning denied the American Civil Liberties Union request to order Davis to reissue licenses she had altered to remove her name and title or face the possibility of further punishment. He found that Davis has allowed her deputies to issue licenses to anyone eligible since September, that the altered licenses are likely valid under Kentucky law. After a ruling by the United States Supreme Court that effectively legalized gay marriage last summer, Davis, a born-again Christian, at first refused to allow her office to issue any marriage licenses, igniting a national firestorm over religious freedoms and civil rights. She was sent briefly to jail for the contempt of court. Davis relented during the turbulent court battle, but altered the licenses to remove her name and title. Many people in Scriba were awakened early this morning to emergency sirens from the county's nuclear plants. However, Oswego County emergency officials confirmed that the sirens located near Novellis was due to a technical problem and not a result of an emergency. The siren was first heard at 3 a.m. and then again an hour later. The midwinter heat wave baked Southern California again Tuesday, breaking more February records and as temperatures soared into the 80s and 90s, even as the Santa Ana winds that stoked the atmosphere began to fade. Records for the date fell by midday as temperatures climbed into an upper 80s, and by afternoon there were numerous readings in the 90s throughout the region. Downtown Los Angeles topped about an 89 degrees, beating the old February 9th record by 4 degrees. The high was 21 degrees above the normal for the date, the National Weather Service said. We've certainly seen some unusually mild temperatures for most of this winter, but it's safe to say that it's quickly coming to an end, at least for a few days. Here's Alexis with the weather.
That's right, Justice. We're expecting by far the coldest air of the winter to set down on us in the next couple of days, and with it, some periodic snow showers. For today, we're under a lake-effect snow warning until 4 a.m. on Friday. The National Weather Service is forecasting that bands of snow will drop 2 or 3 inches of snow today, 3 to 5 inches tonight, 3 to 5 inches tomorrow, and 4 to 8 inches Thursday night. Of course, those numbers could be significantly higher in persistent lake bands, which forecasters are saying that could happen in southern Oswego counties. The real story may be the cold, though. An Arctic blast of cold air on west-northwest winds will bring in temperatures in the teens for Thursday. Low temps will be in the single digits. Temperatures will moderate on Friday with a high of 29, but later Friday another blast of cold air comes and we'll see temperatures plummet. Look for a high of only 1 degree on Saturday, and with the winds exceeding 20 miles per hour, it's going to feel like we're 30 below. Certainly dangerously cold out there. With temps like that, frostbite can set in on exposed skin in a matter of a few minutes. It also should be noted that our pets are particularly vulnerable in cold weather like we're going to see. A look ahead to next week, and we see data suggesting a rebound back to warmer than normal temperatures. So we've got a couple of tough days ahead. Have a great day. I'm Alexis.
With a quick look into sports, here's Abby.
One more win and they'd be in. That was the challenge for the Lady Tigers basketball team last night as they took on Central Square, needing one more win to qualify for the Section 3 playoffs. For the first time in 5 years. The team battled early, trailing the Red Hawks by only 3 at halftime before falling to 53-30. Central Square outscored Mexico 35-15 in the second half. The Lady Tigers were led by senior Kendra Harder, who finished her career with 14 points. Harder was also named the Channel 9 Athlete of the Week. She'll be featured during the station's Wednesday newscast, and we'll have the link up on the district's website on Thursday. The boys' team added to its win total when it traveled to Sandy Creek for a non-league game. Mexico got off to a quick start and cruised to a 50-26 win. The team finishes the regular season at 10-10 and will head to the Section 3 tournament, where it was just announced that they're seeded 12th and will travel to 5th-seeded Whitesboro on Thursday, a team it lost to in triple overtime on January 8th. The boys' swimming and diving team heads to the state qualified meet beginning on Thursday. Diver Noah Galuzzo is expected to take top honors again this year. The boys and girls indoor track teams head to OCC tonight for the Class A sectional meet. Stephen Curry and the Golden State Starters got a big boost from their bench on its way to extending its home court winning streak to 42 straight. Curry had 35 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds, and the Warriors put away the Houston Rockets in the fourth quarter of a 123-110 victory Tuesday night. Even with a remarkable 47-4 record, Golden State is far from satisfied. And finally, love will be in the air at this weekend's Los Angeles Marathon. The 26.2-mile race Sunday from Dodger Stadium to the Santa Monica Pier Falls on Valentine's Day, the marathon is offering runners and spectators a chance to get married or renew their vows on the course. At mile 10, near the intersection of Hollywood and Vine, a justice of the peace will be on hand to perform wedding ceremonies and renew vows. A race spokeswoman says as of Tuesday, 53 couples had signed up, which is required in advance. The nuptials are part of a promotion with Universal Pictures for the upcoming release of My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. That's all we've got for sports. I'm Abby Garrett.
As we head towards winter break, we should note that there are a few things that the calendar, including the True Beauty Day on Thursday, Mexico High School's 5th annual True Beauty Project. This event promotes a healthy standard of beauty that focuses on who we are and not what we look like. All students and staff members are invited to participate. Just wear a black shirt or your True Beauty t-shirt and come to school barefaced. A limited number of black True Beauty t-shirts are available for $10 and will be sold until they're gone. See Miss Bigelow in room 107. The junior versus senior boys volleyball game is just around the corner. In fact, it will be held this Thursday, February 11th at 6 p.m. Boys who want to participate should sign up on Miss Dady's door and start thinking about scheduling some practice time. And finally, the French Club will celebrate the 25th annual anniversary of the semi-formal with the unique theme of Cirque du Soleil. Tickets are now on sale for $14 and the pre-sale only. Tickets are available from any French Club member. That's all for us today. Weather permitting, we'll be here on Friday. For the staff of Eye on the Tigers News, have a great day. I'm Justice Dan.